Hi again and welcome to Pure Property Investment One-on-One. I'm joined today by Tristan Sifo. Tristan, thanks for coming, mate.
Pleasure.
Welcome to the studio. Question I have, you're a financial planner, you're a wealth coach, and I'm sure you probably get this question posed to you quite a bit. We get a little bit in our office as well, is that we get investors having bought their first investment property or potentially their second, third and so on, and they might get to the point of saying, I've achieved that milestone. What do I now do with my surplus cash? And what's the next steps? Because it's kind of like climbing Everest to some people, and like, I achieved that, now what? And a lot of that comes down to, well, I've got surplus cash flow, or I potentially am going to be earning an income for the next 30 years of my life. What should I be doing, and how should I be funneling that money? Things that I should be considering. Mate, I'll throw it to you because you're probably more qualified than I to answer different things that people should consider.
Look, it's a great question. Simple couple of answers. First thing is celebrate. Have a really good meal. Some people tend to go on a holiday. Don't blow it, but yeah, pat yourself on the back. You've got into something that not everyone does manage to get into,
Yep.
An investment property, let alone their own home. But second, and straight after that, book in for a meeting with a coach. Get yourself some accountability. You've just achieved this goal that you've probably been working at really long and hard, and no doubt you're feeling a bit of relief. And a lot of the time, it's very easy to sort of rest your legs up and go, look, I did it. I got that property, I'm in. And 2 years can go past and you've saved half as much as you would have. Without that motivation, the drive, and particularly the accountability of a good financial plan and where you're headed, there's a good chance that you'll lose some steam. So if you are an investor and you've got your first investment property, you're going to need to find a way to allocate your surplus. Whether you have a negatively geared property that you have to chip in a bit to hold, or a positively geared property which is giving you additional income before or after tax, you've got your savings and your regular savings at that to do something with. The simple answer is look at another investment property, but we all know that it's not so easy to get straight into it. You might have used all of your borrowing capacity. You might not have any more to borrow from the banks. You also might just need to give it a bit of a breather, and you might not have some options available straight away. So you do need a vehicle. The first place you could look is obviously an offset account. It's an alternative to paying off the loan and just putting it all in redraw. You could set up an offset account, which would give you a guaranteed fixed amount of income. Now, it's a bit complex, offset accounts in some cases, but really, whatever your interest rate is on the loan, it's almost like an offset account is an investment with a guaranteed fixed income of the exact same rate. So if you're paying 4.2% variable on your loan at the moment, your offset will give you 4.2% or the equivalent thereof. A few implications to it, but that's pretty much as simple as it gets. Now, can you do better? Is there anything better than 4.2? In the short term, it's difficult to do better. If you're going to invest for 6 to 12 months, Paul, I would be very low to recommend a higher risk market-linked investment. Under a year, there's a lot of volatility, and if the market drops, then you might not even get your 4.2, you might get a -4. So there is definitely risk involved, but there are some investment vehicles which have lower risk that we can look at, including a diversified investment portfolio, and cash, term deposits, and cash-like investments. And this is a space which is highly unregulated. There's actually a lot of new products popping up on the market. A few things that people look at are often peer-to-peer lending. That's where you become a bit like a bank and you start lending your money to other people without sort of using a big bank as an intermediary. You kind of lend directly to them via a platform. And there's a few of these sort of products on the market. And there's also a few sort of hybrid high interest savings. There's not just a normal high interest savings, there's a bit of added risk to it. Now, when you get added risk, you get added return. So can be playing with knives at times, but there's definitely a lot of options, from as simple as putting in the bank to using your offset account to sort of these hybrid type cash investments, and then you've got your genuine portfolios with higher risk. There's 1,000 other things you can do, but if you're wondering what it is you should do, you should really get that coach on board. Get a plan in place and pick an investment that suits your risk profile.
Yeah, mate, it's excellent advice. I think one thing personally as an investor for the last decade plus myself, and with the property portfolio that spans that time, one thing I've realised, and one thing that motivates me more than ever, is making sure that every single time a property or a purchase or an investment, irrespective, is made, having a plan after that plan, because the worst thing you can do, and I've been guilty of it personally, where probably after 5 years I hit a milestone that I wanted to achieve, and I probably went on a hiatus for about 18 months, which cost me. And I only went on that hiatus because my wife and I kind of achieved what we wanted to achieve. and then kind of didn't really refocus when we could have refocused straight away, and then hit that button and then gone straight ahead. And that's probably cost us. It's delayed gratification aspects, which we haven't really been able to achieve because we've probably celebrated a bit too long and took our foot off the pedal when we shouldn't have. And I think a lot of people are guilty of that, whether it's getting your first investment property or getting your 50th, I think, or even diversifying into other things and other investment strategies. Having a plan, having a coach, and getting someone to say, this is what you said you would achieve, this is what you're capable of doing, now just go and do it. Sometimes we just need that proverbial kick in the backside.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as that. Others need genuine mechanisms to get it happening. But I think the first step is always saying, once you get there, engage that person. If you haven't engaged them even before you get there, get those plans in place before you buy that property or your next investment property, or invest that money into an offset account or different asset classes, etc. The key for me is having the right support people around you who are going to give you objective advice based on the outcomes which you want to achieve. And for me, that's key, is getting the right advice by people who have the right intention and also the right knowledge and skill sets to be able to get that outcome achieved. If you do want to contact Tristan or anyone from his team, guys, everyone's welcome to, and his contact details at the bottom of the screen. Feel free to give him a buzz. He will be more than happy to set up some time to go through those aspects. And likewise, from our side of things, our contact details at the bottom of the screen, and we're always happy to have a chinwag. Chat soon. Cheers.